Hello everyone, this is Shansha and welcome to zinteractive. So once you create your primitives, you can modify them by applying the modifiers on your objects. So this will help you to create interesting models, shapes, or to create interesting animation. So let's do that in lesson 6.
Oh my gosh, stand up, I learned something cool today. Look.
Stop! 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 Stop!
So let's see how modifiers works in 3D Studio Max. So to apply modifier, we will make a primitive. Okay, for example, I will take a cylinder and I will make a cylinder from the top viewport and then I will give it a height. Okay, now one thing you will notice is that if you will see your orthographic views like front and left viewport, you can see the wireframes over here, but you cannot see the wireframe on the perspective viewport because we are in the default shading mode. To go into the wireframe mode, we can click here and simply we can change from the default shading to wireframe override. Okay, so you can see the wireframe. Or what you can do is that you can click over here and there are some other options here. Suppose you have bounding box, you have clay, you have stylized, okay, and you have some other option as well. So what we are going to do here is we will just click to the default the default shading here, okay, and press F4 on our keyboard. So what does the F4 do? It quickly moves from default shading, okay, to edge faces. Basically, it's not moving from default shading to edge faces, it is adding edge faces to the default shading. So these are basically you can say add-ons, or you can add to your current viewport. Okay, so right now we are in the default shading plus edge faces, so we can see the default shading at the same time and edge faces. Let me press Alt W so it will get maximized. Now the reason I turned on the edge faces is because to give you a concept of segments. Here you will see vertical lines and then you will see here horizontal lines. So the horizontal lines are the horizontal segments, you can say, and the verticals are the sides. So if I go to the modifier option here, okay, and select my cylinder, you will notice that I have height segments, which is 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5 total. So if I increase it, you can see it is increasing, and if I decrease it, so it will decrease. So let me completely decrease it to 1, which is the minimum. Okay, then I have cap segment. Cap segment is already 1, means there is just only one segment. This is the cap basically, and the one which is on the bottom here. So if I increase the cap segment, you can see that subsegments are being increased on the cap. Okay, other than that, as I told you, the vertical lines are the sides. So if I increase it, my cylinder becomes more smoother. If I decrease it, it becomes more rigid. Okay, so even it becomes triangle if I decrease it to 3, which is the minimum. Okay, maximum can go to whatever value you want, but it will be expensive, as it can crash your computers if you are not using a high processors, or it will make your computer slower. So I will keep it as like lower, like suppose 8, okay, or maybe a little higher. Let me make it 15. 15 is fine, okay, because we are just practicing, we are not modeling any other thing. So depending on how smoother you want your object, you can increase these, but for this exercise it is fine. So keep in mind there is no height segment, okay, and cap segment we don't need it at this stage, so it doesn't matter if it is 1 or 5 or whatever. Sides are okay, 15 is good enough. Okay, now as you have understood about the segments right now, let's see how segments help us in our modeling. Okay, so we are in the modifier, and here is the modifier list. So we will learn basically three basic modifiers here: bend, taper, and twist. So if you click on the modifier list, you will see here there are a lot of modifiers. Okay, the good thing is that they are segregated with different categories. Okay, so the category that we are looking into is the object space modifiers, and there are a lot of them. Okay, but our main interest is in the bend, in the taper, and the twist. So let's see them one by one. So here is the bend. They all are in alphabetical order, so you don't have to worry about when you're searching. So I will press on the bend, and you can see this is the stack. Now in the stack, the first thing you can see is the cylinder. It's like a layers of modifiers that you are applying. So the first thing is the cylinder. Second, I applied the bend. Okay. Now if I want to modify my cylinder, so I have to go back into the modifier, then I have to go to the stack, then I have to click the cylinder, and whatever changes I want to do in the cylinder, I can do it. And if I want to go back to the bend, so I will just click on the bend. Okay, so this means you can add as many modifiers you want. You can add 3 or 4 bends, 2 twist, bend over twist, twist, bend, taper all together. So it's up to you how you will use it, but first let's do one by one all of them. Okay, now bend modifier. Now in the bend modifier, it actually bends, as it says bend, it actually bends your primitive. Okay, so here I have the angle of the bend and the direction of the bend and the axis of the bend. Each of these settings, these parameters, I will keep it as it is. I will not change anything. I will only increase or decrease the angle or maybe direction. Okay, so let me increase the angle here. So if I'm increasing the angle, so you can see that it is now, as you can see here on the screen, this orange gauge. This orange gauge is basically called gizmo. This gizmo is showing that I have perfectly bended, but my cylinder does not look like it got bended. Okay, so let me go back to 0. Now the reason is that I don't have enough height segments to bend this. Okay, it is like a wood right now. What will happen if you will take a wood, okay, and try to bend it? So if you will try to bend the wood, what will happen actually? The wood will break like this, because wood is a material that does not have high number of molecules inside. So whenever you try to bend it, it will not bend, it will break. Whereas on the other hand, if you have a steel rod, okay, just like this one, and try to bend it, it will bend without breaking. The reason is that the steel is a material that have high number of polygons, a high number of molecules, which allows it to bend in any direction in any way you want. Okay, and it can the steel can be harder, it can be softer. Okay, so in this case, if it is softer, you can bend it more easily. So I hope you have understood about the concept of the segment. So right now it's like a wood because there is no segment. Segments here, the height segments here are acting like a polygon, so like a molecules. Okay, so if I will go to the cylinder, okay, and then increase the height segment to maybe you can say 5, and then go back to bend. And now if I will start to increase the angle, you will see that now my cylinder is bending the way I want, because I have enough segments here. Okay, now just notice that it is the cylinder got bended, but if you will see that it still look kind of rigid, it does not look smooth. The reason is that maybe 5 is not enough. I can go to cylinder and start increasing the height segment. So if I will start increasing the height segment, you can see that it is becoming smoother and smoother. So right now I have 25. So that means it is more smoother. Okay, so as much height segment you have, that means it will bend smoothly. Okay, so I hope you have understood about the concept of segment here. Okay, so segments are like molecules. Okay, if you don't have segments, okay, in your primitive, you cannot apply any kind of modifier, it won't work. Okay, if you have good number of segments, you can modify your object. It's like wood versus steel. Wood have less molecules and the steel have more molecules, and that's how steel gets bended. Okay, so I hope it's clear. Now I can increase my bend, I like my angle, and I can go all the way to 360. Okay, and it will become like a donut basically. Okay, and then I can increase more further, so it will like penetrate or overlap, which is in this case I don't want, but maybe for some animations you can do that, because anything here you do is animatable, so you can animate, you know, different kind of things. So this is how, or if you want to bend it more to make an object or something like a design, you can make a 3D logo like this. So architecture model or anything, any part of a character. Okay, maybe this can be a, like, you know, a hat of the character or anything of the character you want. Okay, other than that, we have here direction. Well, now what is the direction? Basically, if I change the direction, you can see that it is changing the direction of my angle. Okay, so it can go anywhere I want. So that's the direction of it. This is the axis. Right now we are working on the z-axis. So z-axis is, as you can see here. Okay, so you can see z-axis here. So basically it is bending in this direction. So if I will change it to x, so you can see now it is bending on the x-axis. So basically x-axis is in this direction, so it is bending in this direction. Okay, so sorry, in this axis. So you can see this how it is bending on x-axis. So if I will change the bend axis to y, so now it is bending in this axis. Okay, so this is how you can change your axes depending on how you want to bend your object. Okay, so let's go back to z-axis. I will change the direction to 0. Let me increase this bend, and let's go to the limits. Now what is the limit here? We have two different kind of limit. We have upper limit, then we have lower limit. Okay, so what if you don't want to bend entirely your primitive? You only want to bend this part or maybe this part. So if you want to do that, you have to work with the limit. So if you have to activate the limit by clicking on the limit effect. Once you do that, then you have to you know, set up your upper limit and lower limit. So at this stage there is no limit here, so it is 0 0 both of them. So let me first increase decrease the lower limit, something like this. Okay, and you can see that the lower limit is here. Now if I want, I can increase or decrease the upper limit, so you can see that, or we can do vice versa. Okay, so I can play with the upper limit first. So you can see that if I'm increasing this, so my upper limit right now is, maybe if I will write it 50, now it is 50 centimeters. That means this part, okay, which is like in the 50 centimeters range, will not get affected, but the part which is outside will be affected. Okay, so this is the upper limit, and here is the bending. Same thing we can do with the lower limit. So if I will start decreasing the lower limit, so you can see that how where it is going basically. Okay, it's going a little bit off, and then you can change this one just like this. So you know, the way you want it, you can adjust your like settings, and you can apply whatever you want to do that. But in this case, I will keep it 0 0 both of them, and I don't want the limit effect. Okay, so that's all the parameters if you, when you in the bend modifier. Okay, now let's see what is what else is inside the bend modifier. If you will see here, you have this I button, and always in the stack you will see the I. I means if you don't want to see the effect, so you click on it, so the effect will be hidden, but you can still see the gizmo, so that you know that the bend looks like this. This is the bend actually how you applied it. So if you deselect anything, so it will be gone, but if you select it, it will be there. Okay, so I will unhide it. Then if I will go to cylinder, okay, so you can see that there is this option clicked which says show end result on off toggle. So end result means it will show all the result which I have applied here, whatever is in the stack, bend or twist or the bend twist altogether, or as many modifiers you have applied that are in the stack, okay, will be shown if you will go to cylinder. Okay, and while you are increasing or decreasing the parameters, it will show the end result, how it will get affected with the new settings. Okay, but if you don't want to see that, you can toggle it off and it will not show you the last result. Okay, and if you turn it off, it will show you the last result. But it's better always to keep it on, so you know how your modifier will be affected. Okay, now if you will see the small arrow over here, that shows that this is collapsible or uncollapsible option. Okay, so in this modifier of bend, if I click on this arrow, it will show me there are two things inside the bend modifier. One is the gizmo, which I told you about, which is this orange cage here, and then you have a center point, which is like a pivot point of the bend modifier. So let's go to the gizmo first. So if I click on the gizmo, so you can see that the gizmo is highlighted, and this axis, this pivot is on the gizmo. Now I can move my gizmo anywhere I want. Now let's see what happens if you move the gizmo. So if I move the gizmo back, you can see that the area of effect is getting far away from my cylinder. That's why the result is becoming smaller and smaller. Okay, so if I will move all back, so you can see that the effect is kind of getting smaller. It's basically like, you can see, you can say a range. Okay, so as far it will go, it will affect in this way. If I now go to near to the actual place where it is it's supposed to be, so it will be normal, and if I go far, so it will be like that. So I can go to any other direction also, like suppose I can go here in this direction, but it will not affect it. Okay, because this angle is same as here, so it will not affect anything here if I'm moving towards the y-axis. But if I will move towards the x-axis, then I will have a little bit change, and even if I will move to the z-axis, you can see the change as well. Okay, so this is how you can control your gizmo, and you can work with the gizmo. Now gizmo is quite changed, so you can see here the values of the gizmo in the coordinate system. You can make it all of them 0, 0, 0, so it can be back on track. Okay, so it should be a little bit backwards. That's fine. Okay, now if I will go to the center, what is the center? Now you will notice that this is the center, and the center got highlighted. Now center is the point from where the effect, from where the modification is being done. Okay, so if I move it to the y-axis, you will not see any changes as it was the same case with the gizmo. But if I will move it on the x-axis, you can see that it's quite same as what it was doing with the gizmo. Okay, almost the same. Okay, and if I move it up, you can see that it is changing almost the same. But where is the real change? The real change is if I will start to bend now, it will bend from this point, not from here anymore. Okay, so I hope it is clear, and it works perfectly when you apply limit effect. Okay, this works perfectly with the limit effect. So you can see that now if I will apply the limit effect, it's totally different than when I was applying it before. Okay, so this works perfectly with the limit effect, okay. And if I go and go to the center, if I will change the center, okay, like this, so you can see that how things are being changed, okay. So this looks like a candy can, okay. So basically this is how your bend modifiers work, and these are some components of the bend modifier, like gizmo and the center point, and then you have here all the parameters, okay. Now suppose if you don't want the bend modifier, so what you can do is that you can delete it. You have also a pin option. What does it do is that it keep it pinned on the stack, means it will be always on the top, but I wanted to remove it right now, so I can go and remove it. Or you have configure modifier sets, okay. So what it do is that you can add these add-ons to it, but usually you don't use it a lot. So I don't want it right now, so because I want to apply another modifier, so let's delete this one, okay. Now it is deleted. Now after that, let's see the other one, which is the taper. So I will go to the modifier list and I will go in the T, because taper as it will be the T, so taper. Now as the word taper, what does the taper do? It keeps one side normal, one end normal, suppose the top of the cylinder, and one end tapered like a bell, okay, like it will increase or decrease this like the size of that, okay. So that's how the taper works. Now in the tapers, the parameters are completely different here. You don't have the angle or direction here. You have amount and curve, okay. You don't have 3 axes here, you have 6 axes here with the symmetry, okay. Limits are same, and then if I click over here, gizmo center is same, okay. Now how the taper work? If right now I'm in the primary axis, which is Z, and the effect will be on X and Z, means like in the X direction it will go horizontally, and vertically in the Z direction it will go from here. So that's why there is X and Z, and the primary it will be vertically, okay. So now if I will apply the amount, you can see that the top of my cylinder is getting bigger or smaller, okay. So as you can see, it is getting in the vertical direction and the like horizontally. Now if I will change it to only Y, so you can see it is now the tapering on the other side, which is the Y. And if I will make it X, so it will be only X, not the Y, okay. But if you want X and Y both together, so it will be X and Y. So as you can see from all the sides, okay. Let me put it here so you can see clearly. Y will be like this, X will be like this, XY will be like this, okay. Now if I'm doing X, so it will be like this, X combination with Y will be like this, X combination with the Z will be like this. And if I'm doing Y, so it will be like this with the X, with Z, and with XZ. So, but I will keep it at this because this is the best one, okay. So I can decrease or increase or whatever I want. Let me do this something like that, okay. Now I'm applying this on a cylinder. What if you will apply it on some other primitive? Like, let me delete this one, go to the my create option in the primitive. Now let's make a teapot, okay, and then go back to the modifier, and here I will apply taper. Now if I will increase or decrease the taper, you can see what's going on. So you can make any realistic object and apply taper modifier or bend modifier or twist modifier and make it look stylized like in cartoons, okay. So you can make it cartoonish with these modifier also. So it's one example how you can use it, okay. Other than the amount, here we have curve. Now what does the curve do? Curve, apply the curve on these axes. Like if I will increase the curve, you can see that how it is applying the curve, okay. Now you can change the curve by going through these and just like that. Symmetry, if you turn on the symmetry, it will not affect anything right now because we are in Z and XY, which is already same as the both sides. Okay, but if I will go to Y and XZ, so then you can see how it will look like in symmetry and without symmetries. Okay, because what does the symmetry do? Basically, it takes your one side and copy that side on the other. So in this case, you can see without the symmetry, this is different and this is different. But if I will apply symmetry, now this is same and this is same, just they are mirrored. Okay, so symmetry works also in the taper and gives you very quite interesting results. Okay, so in this case, the symmetry will not be applied because already both of them are same. Now, if we have this limit, upper limit, so you can turn it on also, and you can increase the limit, so you can see how the effect is applied in this area, and my upper limit is outside here. Okay, but if I will make it 0 and try to change the lower limit, so you can see, so it will be just like this. Okay, so but I don't want that. And check it. Now if I'll go to the gizmo, this is the gizmo. Basically, you can move around the gizmo. Okay, you can move here or there, or what I can do is that I can scale the gizmo bigger or smaller. Okay, I just press R on my keyboard to get the scaling option, or you can rotate the gizmo. So I just press the E on my keyboard to get the rotation. Okay, so this is how the gizmo will work. So same thing with the center. I can move the center wherever I want and it will affect. Okay, so let me delete this taper, and now the third one is the twist. So if I will go here and apply the twist, you will see angle just like you have in bend, but you will not see direction, you will see bias. Okay, then three axes only, twist axes, and then limits. And then if I uncollapse it, you can see gizmo and center as well over there. Okay, so this is how you will have it. Now if I increase the angle, you can notice that it is twisting on the z-axis, means like this is the z-axis over here, and it will twist in that in angle, like suppose here, like this. Okay, now if I will go to x-axis, sorry, so it will now like rotate in this axis. Okay, and now if I will change it to y, so that means now I'm in the y-axis, so it will now you can see rotating from this angle. Okay, so this is how you can do the, like you can change your axes wherever you want to rotate it. Now what is biased here? Now bias here, basically if you increase or decrease, okay, it moves your rotation coil. Can you see this rotation coil over here, like this, your twist coil? It moves it or pushes it. Okay, when if I change it, so it goes up or down. So this is basically, it's up to you wherever you want to do that. So you can use twist for like stylization or for animation, simulation, for any other kind of thing, for atmosphere effect where you have a lot of things flying around, and you can do that with this twist modifier. So many things you can use this modifier too. So if you go in the gizmo, the same thing, I can move it up, down. Okay, and gizmo can be also animated, like you can move it one frame up, then other frame down, so it will give you this kind of effect. So many things you can come up with. Very good for the like stylization. Also for the simulation, it can be used perfectly. So now let me do one thing. Let me delete this and let me make a simple cylinder like here. Okay, and I'll go back to my modifier list and I will apply the bend again. I will bend it this much, I think. Now what I will do is that I will go again and this time I will apply twist. Okay, and I can twist it. So two of these modifiers are in the stack and they are working together at the same time. It's bending first, then it is twisting secondly. So what I can do is that if I want the bend to be last one, I can select the bend and I can drag it and move it up. You can see this dark blue line. This dark blue line is basically your bend modifier. So if I will move it up on the top, so now the bend is the last one, the twist is the first one. So I can twist it first and then I can bend it next. But if I will go to cylinder and try to reduce the height segment, so you can see the good result of the twist. You can see that how it is twisting. Okay, let me change the cap sides also. If I reduce the side, you can see more better how it is twisting. Okay, and then I can apply height segments more, and then I can go to the bend. Now I can apply taper as well. I can go to the taper in the end and I can apply whatever kind of taper I want. Okay, so basically you can apply as many modifiers you want. You can delete them, you can hide them. Okay, so I don't want to see the bend, I will hide the bend so I can see over only this. Okay, so if I press F4 on my keyboard, so it will remove the edge faces and it will only keep the shaded, and you can see like it looks like a candle right now. Okay, so something like these kind of things you can apply with the modifiers and create something out of it. Okay, so I hope you have understood about all the modifiers, how to stack them, how to modify them, and how to manipulate them. So try applying different modifiers on different kind of primitives and see what kind of results you are getting. Okay, and try to be creative and try to make something out of it. Okay, like what you can make by bending a teapot, or what you can make by twisting a box, or any extended primitive also. Okay, for example, if I will take a extended primitives and I have here these kind of primitives, I have Gengon here. So if I will make a Gengon, you can see that it gives me a kind of a pentagon sort of thing. Okay, because the sides are 5, so if I will make it maybe more, okay, maybe something like this, 7, okay, and then I can decrease or increase the height and then fill it. I can increase or decrease. I'll get this kind of a shape. Okay, and let me turn on the edge faces by pressing F4, and then I will increase the height segments, and then let's see how it will look like if I will apply a taper. Okay, so I will decrease the taper. Okay, it looks like this. Now if I will go back here and apply a twist, so how it will look like. So it kind of look like this. Okay, now I can go in the Gengon and I can do some kind of other changes. Suppose I want to increase the height segments, or maybe you can see side segments. Okay, so it will look like this. Height segment kind of look like this. Okay, like it's a lot, like 60 I have made it. Maybe this one I will make it 20. Okay, fill it maybe 2. Okay, and then if I'm done, I can press F4 on my keyboard. So you can see what it resembles. If I will go in the standard primitive and make a simple cone here and rotate it, all the way to -80, and then scale it up, move it a little bit up. This one is 2. Okay, so let me go back to my all the viewports and try to adjust it. I can turn on my snapping. Okay, turn it off. Try to adjust this and make it a little smaller. Okay, so it's kind of look like an ice cream cone right now. Okay, like a low polygon basic ice cream cone. So many creative things you can do. You just have to keep in mind like what can be done or what can be made if I do this. Okay, so try to do different experiments and try to make different kind of objects like I did here, like an ice cream cone. Okay, and you can share it with share it with me on Facebook, on the zinteractive Facebook account. Okay, you can like post it there. You can message me over there, and I would love to see your work, what you're doing. So guys, see you in the next lesson. Please, if you have not subscribed to my channel, subscribe it. Click on the bell icon. Also, watch all my tutorials from the starting till the end, because there are a lot of important things in between. And please watch it online and do not download it. Otherwise, I will not get enough watch time hours, as I told you before. So, until then, stay safe and take care of yourself. And we'll see each other in the next lesson. So bye everyone. Take care.